Hold your position.
Move fast, stay low.
Saju, I'm here.
Both, you understand?
Come on! Who's my... I work for your father. Something is fucked. But if you want to live, you have to trust me. Turn rocket fire.
On your right. You just passed it.
Down! Come on, gotta move. What do we do?
Do you trust him?
আমি ওকে দেখবো।
Stay here. Stay down.
Hey guys, today we're diving headfirst into the action-packed, no-holds-barred world of Extraction from 2020. Get ready for a high-octane thrill ride that barely lets you breathe, featuring a hero who's less about the capes and more about the concussions. We're talking Chris Hemsworth, a lot of guns, and enough gritty realism to make your knuckles ache. I put a lot of work into these, so if you like what you see, a like and a subscribe is always appreciated. No worries if not. So let's unpack this explosive tale of a black market mercenary doing what he does best, extracting. Or at least trying to. It all kicks off with our man, Tyler Rake, looking less than stellar, to put it mildly. Severely wounded and teetering on a bridge in Dhaka, clearly. Things have gone sideways, or perhaps more accurately, straight into a wall of bullets. Our story rewinds a bit to a swanky party in Mumbai, where we meet Ovi Mahajan Jr., the son of India's biggest drug lord. Ovi Mahajan Sr., who's currently chilling in jail. Now, Ovi Jr. isn't exactly having a blast. He's looking pretty miserable, probably contemplating why he's stuck at a party full of adults when he could be playing video games. But his night gets infinitely worse, or perhaps more exciting, depending on your perspective, when he's ambushed by armed men. These guys aren't exactly asking for his autograph. They're here to snatch him. The whole thing goes down with a jarring quickness, a true blink and you'll miss the kid being shoved into a van moment. It's a pretty effective way to establish the stakes, and the fact that Ovi Sr. is in prison means he can't exactly send his bodyguards. This abduction sets the entire bloody chessboard in motion, plunging us directly into the perilous world of drug cartels and the devastating consequences of their rivalries. It's a harsh reminder that even the kids aren't safe when the big players are feuding. And frankly, a very inconvenient time for Ovi Sr. to be incarcerated, turns out. Ovi Jr. has been taken by the minions of Amir Asif, a rival Bangladeshi drug lord who's clearly not a fan of Ovi Sr. Asif is a piece of work, oozing menace from every pore. He's the kind of guy who orders a hit on a kid over the phone with the same casualness you'd order a pizza. You can practically hear the metallic click of his intention. This isn't just about money. It's about power, pride, and sending a very clear, very violent message. Asif wants to eliminate Ovi Jr. to permanently cripple Mahajan Sr.'s operations, a move that's both strategically brutal and horrifyingly personal. It effectively ups the ante, making this more than just a simple ransom job. This decision also means our hero won't just be retrieving a kid. He'll be saving a kid from certain, very unpleasant death. It's a dark turn that highlights the ruthless nature of this criminal underworld, where human life is just another bargaining chip, or, in this case, a disposable inconvenience. Talk about a grim welcome to Dhaka. Meanwhile, back in Mumbai, Ovi Sr.'s head of security, Sayu, is desperate. His boss, though incarcerated, demands Ovi Jr. be rescued pronto. Sayu, a man torn between loyalty to his employer and his own family's safety because Asif has already threatened them, is tasked with the impossible. He pledges to get the kid back, even if it means doing it himself, by any means necessary. There's a palpable tension in the air, a sense of urgency that crackles through the screen. We see the weight of this burden on Sayu, the silent agony in his eyes. It's a promise made under extreme duress, where failure isn't an option because his own loved ones are collateral. This immediately establishes Sayu as a formidable, yet morally complex character, adding another layer to the already thickening plot. He's not a villain, but he's certainly not a straightforward ally either, which, let's be honest, makes for much more interesting viewing. Who needs simple heroes when you can have complex anti-heroes, right? Enter Tyler Rake, played by Chris Hemsworth, looking exactly like you'd expect a ripped, brooding mercenary to look. We first see him recovering from what looks like a particularly savage bar brawl, submerging himself in water, possibly to cool down or just to drown out the existential dread. He's clearly a man with a past, haunted by unseen demons. His posture, the way he carries himself, speaks volumes without a single word. Then his partner, Nick Khan, approaches him with the job offer: rescue Ovi Jr. from Dhaka. It's a high risk, Black market operation, the kind where the odds are stacked against you, and the payoff is astronomical. The description of the job is brief, to the point, and utterly devoid of any pretense of safety. Rake, ever the picture of quiet intensity, accepts. Why? We don't know yet, but there's a sense that he's chasing something more than just money. Perhaps a chance at redemption, or maybe just a distraction from his own inner turmoil. You know, the usual mercenary backstory. His weary acceptance and a heavy sigh almost audible beneath the surface tell us everything we need to know about the toll this life takes. It's a life defined by violence, and it's about to get a whole lot more violent. Rake, with his usual grim determination, infiltrates the heavily guarded apartment building where Ovi Jr. is being held. This isn't some flashy Mission Impossible stunt. It's a brutal, efficient operation. He scales walls, navigates tight spaces, and dispatches guards with a chilling, surgical precision. The sound of a muffled snap or a silent slice of a blade is more common here than any big bang. He moves like a predator, a shadow in the urban jungle, making his way through the labyrinthine corridors. The tension is palpable as he closes in. The subtle creak of a floorboard, the barely audible thud of a body hitting the ground, every sound amplified. He eventually locates Ovi, who's naturally terrified and utterly bewildered. Rake's approach is blunt, direct, and completely devoid of comforting platitudes. He doesn't have time for pleasantries, and honestly, neither do we. He's here to do a job, and he's going to do it with extreme prejudice. This scene really hammers home Rake's capabilities as a solo operator, a one-man army carving a path through enemy territory. It's less about heroics and more about grim, professional competence, which, let's be honest, is far more terrifying. As Rake secures Ovi Jr., all hell breaks loose. The apartment building transforms into a kill box as Azov's men realize their prize is being snatched. Gunshots erupt, echoing deafeningly through the concrete structure, punctuated by the metallic clang of ricocheting bullets. Rake, with Ovi Jr. in tow, is immediately thrust into a brutal firefight. He's a whirlwind of calculated violence, using every available piece of cover, every angle, every moment to his advantage. The crack of his rifle, the almost guttural grunt as he dispatches an enemy, paint a vivid picture of the chaos. Ovi Jr., understandably, is a panicked mess, wide-eyed and terrified. Rake, however, remains laser-focused, his movements precise, almost robotic. He's not just fighting, he's orchestrating a deadly ballet of evasion and elimination, all while trying to keep a scared kid safe. It's a relentless, visceral sequence that sets the tone for the entire movie. If you thought this was going to be a walk in the park, the film quickly disabuses you of that notion. It's a symphony of destruction, and Rake is its conductor, much to the chagrin of Azov's rapidly diminishing security team. And honestly, who needs sleep when you can have this much adrenaline? Rake and Ovi manage to escape the apartment building, but the streets of Dhaka are far from safe. Their vehicle, ostensibly heading for an extraction point, gets ensnared in a massive traffic jam on a crowded bridge, probably the universe's way of saying nice try, buddy. And of course, it's not just a traffic jam, it's an ambush. Azov's men, seemingly out of nowhere, swarm the bridge, turning a bottleneck into a death trap. Gunfire erupts from all directions, a cacophony of explosions and bullet impacts on metal. Rake is forced into another brutal close-quarters battle, fighting hand-to-hand, using his environment to his advantage. The sickening thud of a fist connecting with a jaw, the crunch of bone, the desperate cries for help, it's all laid bare. He's trying to protect Ovi Jr., who's witnessing a level of violence that would scar even the most hardened individual. The sheer scale of the ambush is overwhelming, a relentless wave of enemies. Rake is literally punching, kicking, and shooting his way through a sea of bodies, a lone wolf against a horde. You can practically feel the grime and the sweat through the screen. It's a chaotic ballet of survival, where every movement is a life or death decision, and Rake, bless his heart, is just trying to get to the next dance number without getting shot. Or, more accurately, without getting shot too much. Amidst the chaos, Rake spots Sayu, the very man who supposedly hired them to rescue Ovi, but Sayu isn't here to help. He's here to take Ovi Jr. for himself. The realization hits Rake like a physical blow. They've been double-crossed. Sayu's original plan was to snatch Ovi Jr. back to his father without paying the mercenaries, thus saving his own family from Azov's threats. This twist adds a whole new layer of betrayal and distrust to an already complex situation. The ensuing confrontation is a brutal, no-holds-barred fight between Rake and Sayu. Their fists connect with bone-jarring force. The grunts of exertion, the metallic scrape of weapons, all painting a picture of two highly trained individuals clashing. It's not just a physical fight, it's a battle of wills, each man driven by a desperate need to protect. This isn't just about good guys and bad guys. It's about competing loyalties, personal stakes, and the gray areas in between. The audience is left wondering who to root for, if anyone. Honestly, it's a bit rude to put our hero through this much, isn't it? He just finished one brawl. Give the man a minute. Realizing they're both in over their heads and cornered by Azov's overwhelming forces, Rake and Sayu reluctantly agree to an uneasy truce. The air crackles with unspoken tension, distrust hanging heavy between them. But necessity, as they say, is the mother of all alliances, even the really uncomfortable ones. Their objective now is unified: get Ovi Jr. out of Dhaka alive. This means navigating the city's treacherous, police-ridden streets, where every corner could hide an ambush. It's a fragile partnership, built on mutual desperation rather than trust, and you can practically see the wheels turning in each man's head, constantly assessing the other. The weight of the situation presses down on them, the unspoken threat of betrayal always lurking. It's a testament to their professionalism that they can even stand in the same room without throwing another punch. This alliance changes the dynamic entirely, transforming the chase into a desperate, multi-front war against a city that seems determined to swallow them whole. It's like a buddy cop movie, but with more attempted murder and significantly less banter. For now, they'll grudgingly work together because sometimes the enemy of your enemy is, well, still kind of your enemy, but a useful one. This is it, folks, the scene everyone talks about, the legendary owner or long take. The camera glides seamlessly, almost impossibly, as Rake, Sayu, and Ovi Jr. tear through the city in a frantic escape. It's a dizzying ballet of destruction, combining a car chase, foot pursuit, and multiple brutal firefights. The sounds are a symphony of chaos, screeching tires, the staccato rhythm of automatic gunfire, the grunt of punches landing, and the sickening thud of bodies hitting pavement. Rake is a force of nature, moving with brutal efficiency, protecting Ovi Jr. at every turn. He's jumping from rooftops, crashing through windows, engaging in hand-to-hand combat while simultaneously managing to drive. It's a masterclass in choreographed mayhem, a visceral, adrenaline-fueled sequence that leaves you breathless. You can practically feel the wind resistance, the impact of every blow, the sheer exhaustion. This segment isn't just a chase. It's an immersive experience, plunging the viewer directly into the heart of the action with no cuts to break the tension. It's a filmmaking marvel, proving that sometimes you just need a really long camera shot and a whole lot of stunt coordination to make a masterpiece of mayhem. Seriously, whoever edited this deserved a raise, and probably a very long nap. A very, very long nap, despite their incredible efforts during the long take. Rake and Ovi Jr. find themselves cornered in the labyrinthine slums of Dhaka, the narrow alleyways. Once potential escape routes now feel like a suffocating trap. Azov's men, relentless and seemingly infinite, close in from all sides. The air is thick with the scent of fear, dust, and gunpowder. Rake, battered and bruised, is still fighting like a rabid dog, but even he is starting to show the strain. The crack of enemy fire is constant, chipping away at their dwindling cover. Ovi Jr. is understandably terrified, huddled close to Rake, his young eyes wide with a mixture of terror and dawning realization of their grim predicament. It's a moment of desperate vulnerability, where their options are rapidly shrinking and the hope of escape seems almost extinguished. This is the point where our hero isn't just facing overwhelming odds, he's facing an entire city determined to stop him. It's like playing a video game on the hardest difficulty except there are no extra lives, and the stakes are, actual lives. One might even call it a bit unfair, but hey, nobody said being a mercenary was easy or glamorous. Just as it seems Rake and Ovi Jr. are about to be overwhelmed, a miracle, or rather, a bullet arrives. Sayu, who had previously betrayed Rake, reappears, perched on a rooftop, providing crucial sniper cover. The sharp, distant crack of his rifle signals a shift in the battle as Azov's men suddenly start dropping, unable to pinpoint the source of the new threat. Sayu, motivated by a deeper sense of honor or perhaps the weight of his earlier betrayal, has returned to help. His precise, deadly shots create an opening, a narrow window of opportunity that Rake seizes with both hands. It's a moment of unexpected salvation, a testament to the complex loyalties and shifting alliances in this brutal world. The metallic clang of expended casings hitting the rooftop, almost in sync with the satisfying thud of enemy bodies, tells the story. This isn't just a tactical assist, it's a redemption arc playing out in real time, under heavy fire. And honestly, it's about time someone brought some long-range support to this party. What was he doing all this time? Probably just waiting for the perfect dramatic entrance. You know how these action heroes are after the relentless onslaught. Rake, Sayu, and Ovi Jr. find a temporary safe haven. A moment of fragile peace amidst the chaos. It's here, in the quiet lull, that Rake begins to lower his guard. Just a fraction. He opens up to Ovi Jr., revealing the crushing weight of his past, the death of his own son from lymphoma, and his subsequent abandonment of his family. The narration here shifts, becoming softer, more poignant, a stark contrast to the earlier cacophony of violence. You hear the quiet catch in his voice, the almost imperceptible tremor that belies his hardened exterior. It's a raw, emotional moment that reveals the man beneath the mercenary, the grief that fuels his reckless courage. Ovi Jr., a child who has just witnessed unspeakable horrors, listens with a maturity beyond his years, finding a strange connection with this damaged protector. This shared moment of vulnerability, of acknowledging the deep, painful cuts of life, forges a bond between them that transcends their initial, transactional relationship. It's a powerful reminder that even the toughest exteriors often hide the deepest wounds, and that sometimes a quiet confession is more impactful than any explosion. With the temporary alliance solidified, Rake and Sayu, alongside Nick Khan and her team, hatch a new plan. Dhaka is still locked down and Azov's grip is tightening, so a direct extraction is out. The new strategy revolves around a specific bridge, a key choke point that could either be their escape route or their ultimate demise. The tension during their planning session is thick. Every detail is scrutinized, every potential risk analyzed. The crackle of Nick's voice over the comms, outlining tactical details, reinforces the high stakes. This isn't just about getting Ovi Jr. out. It's about surviving the gauntlet Asif has laid for them. The bridge becomes a symbol of their last, desperate hope, a narrow path to freedom. They know it will be heavily guarded, a meat grinder of an engagement, but it's their best, perhaps only, shot. The decision is made, a grim acceptance of the monumental challenge ahead. It's a plan born of desperation and a healthy dose of professional cynicism. Basically, it's a plan that screams, this is probably going to go horribly wrong, but let's try anyway. And spoiler alert, it does. *** back at his lavish but menacing lair, Amir Asif, thoroughly displeased with the turn of events, issues an ultimatum to his underlings. To demonstrate the consequences of failure, or worse, betrayal, he commits a truly horrific act. He murders a young boy in cold blood, right in front of his terrified men. The stark silence in the room after the chilling crack of the neck is deafening, punctuated only by the gasps of his horrified subordinates. This scene isn't just about violence. It's about establishing Azov's absolute, unfeeling brutality. It's a power play, a psychological tactic designed to instill fear and ensure unquestioning obedience. The visual is gut-wrenching. The act itself a stark reminder of the depth of evil Rake and his team are up against. This isn't just a drug lord. He's a psychopath, willing to sacrifice anyone to maintain his dominance. It ratchets up the emotional stakes, cementing Asif as a truly monstrous antagonist and making the mission to save Ovi Jr. even more critical and morally imperative. Honestly, some villains just need a hobby that doesn't involve traumatizing children and everyone else within a 50-mile radius. Before the final inevitable showdown, Rake and Sayu engage in the ritualistic preparation of their weapons. The metallic click of magazines being loaded, the smooth slide of a bolt, the precise calibration of scopes, every action is deliberate, a silent testament to their professionalism and the gravity of what's to come. Their faces are grim, edged with the knowledge that this could be their last fight. They check their gear, meticulously ensuring everything is in perfect working order, because in their line of work, a jammed weapon or a misplaced grenade means the difference between life and death. The silent, almost tactile quality of this scene emphasizes the weight of their decisions, the unspoken camaraderie formed through shared peril. Ovi Jr. watches them, a silent observer to the grim transformation from men to instruments of war. The air is thick with anticipation, a heavy quiet before the storm. It's the calm before the brutal, ear-splitting storm, where bullets will fly and lives will be irrevocably altered. A bit like getting ready for a really intense Monday morning, but with more explosives. Just a tad more, the moment of truth arrives. Rake, Sayu, and Ovi Jr. race onto the heavily guarded bridge, a direct challenge to Azov's control. The entire structure is swarming with armed men, a gauntlet of death waiting for them. Almost immediately, the air erupts with the deafening roar of automatic gunfire. Bullets tear through their vehicle, shredding metal and glass. It's a visceral, all-encompassing assault, a cacophony of explosions, impacts, and the frantic cries of battle. Rake and Sayu are instantly plunged into a desperate fight for survival, returning fire with lethal precision. The metallic whine of suppressive fire is almost constant, a brutal backdrop to their frantic movements. Nick Khan and her team provide sniper support from afar, their distant rifle cracks adding to the symphony of destruction. It's a relentless, high-stakes battle, where every inch of ground gained is paid for in blood. The bridge itself becomes a character, a grim, unyielding stage for the unfolding carnage. It's an overwhelming, explosive opening to the final act, ensuring that nobody will be getting out of this without a few new scars, or perhaps not getting out at all. Seriously, who thought this was a good idea? Alright, everyone, for our entertainment. In the furious maelstrom of the bridge battle, Sayu, true to his word and driven by an ultimate act of redemption, makes the ultimate sacrifice. He draws fire from an enemy sniper, giving Rake and Ovi Jr. a precious window to escape. The sharp, chilling crack of the sniper rifle is heard, followed by a sickening thud as Sayu falls, fatally wounded. His sacrifice is a poignant, tragic moment, underscoring the brutal realities of their world. The immediate, deafening silence that follows his fall, before the battle roars back to life, is incredibly impactful. He dies not as a mercenary, but as a man fulfilling his duty and protecting the innocent. His death isn't just a casualty of war. It's a profound moment of selflessness, cementing his character arc from reluctant ally to true hero. Rake, witnessing his ally's demise, is fueled by a fresh wave of grim determination, the violence around him now imbued with a personal vendetta. It's a gut-punch moment that reminds us that in this movie, even the good guys don't always make it. And honestly, it's a shame, because Sayu was just starting to grow on me. Rip, you complicated hero. Now alone on the bridge, with Ovi Jr. safely across, Rake is in full last stand mode. He's a walking, bleeding wreck, sustained only by sheer willpower and a desperate need to complete the mission. The metallic clang of expended casings hitting the bridge deck is constant, a grim accompaniment to his relentless fight. He engages in a brutal ballet of close-quarters combat, every punch, kick, and gunshot fueled by a primal fury. The visceral impact of his movements, the grunts of pain and exertion, are palpable. He's taking hits, but he's dishing them out tenfold, a true force of nature in his final moments. The cacophony of battle surrounds him, a symphony of destruction as he carves a path through the remaining enemies. He ensures Ovi Jr. gets to safety, a selfless act born of his own unresolved grief. This isn't just about survival anymore. It's about redemption, about making sure one innocent life escapes the horrors he's so familiar with. He's fighting on pure instinct, a wounded animal protecting its young, or at least, the young ward he's grown to care for. It's an agonizing, yet exhilarating sequence, showcasing Rake's indomitable spirit, even as his body is failing him. Basically, he's giving a masterclass in how to go out like a total legend, even if it means sacrificing everything. Someone get this man a medal, and maybe some painkillers. As Rake lies gravely wounded, succumbing to his injuries on the bridge, Nick Khan, watching from a distant rooftop, refuses to let his thief escape justice. The sharp, decisive crack of her sniper rifle echoes across the river, silencing the orchestrator of all this bloodshed. A thief, caught unawares, drops dead, a swift and brutal end to his reign of terror. It's a moment of grim satisfaction, a sense of poetic justice amidst the tragedy. The deafening silence that follows the single shot speaks volumes, a stark contrast to the earlier cacophony. Nick's action isn't just about vengeance for Rake. It's about completing the mission, ensuring Ovi Jr.'s safety by eliminating the source of the threat. Her stoic resolve and unwavering professionalism are evident, even in the face of her partner's impending death. It's a cold, hard justice, but in this world, sometimes that's the only kind you get. And frankly, after everything Asif put everyone through, he absolutely had it coming. Good riddance to bad rubbish, as they say, or in this case, to murderous drug lords. In a heart-wrenching, almost poetic final act, Tyler Rake, having taken countless bullets and pushed his body beyond all human limits, stumbles backward. The metallic taste of blood, the searing pain in his chest and stomach, are almost overwhelming. He gazes at Ovi Jr. one last time, a silent acknowledgement, a final farewell, before succumbing to his injuries. With a final, agonizing gasp, he topples over the edge of the bridge, plunging into the dark, murky waters below. The gentle splash is almost unheard amidst the lingering echoes of battle, a stark contrast to the violence that preceded it. It's a moment of profound sadness, the tragic but inevitable end for a man who lived and died by the sword. His sacrifice ensures Ovi Jr.'s survival, a small beacon of hope in a world consumed by darkness. The image of him sinking beneath the surface is haunting, leaving a lingering question in the minds of the audience. Did he find the peace he sought? Or was it simply the end of a long, bloody road? Either way, it's a powerful, definitive moment that really drives home the emotional weight of his journey. You can almost feel the cold rush of the water around him, a final, chilling embrace after a life of fire. After the dust settles and the bodies are counted, we see the immediate aftermath. Ovi Jr. is safely returned to his father, who, despite his criminal empire, is clearly relieved. The world moves on, but the scars of what happened, both visible and invisible, remain. Ovi Jr. is back at school, attempting to resume some semblance of a normal life. The contrast between his serene surroundings and the absolute horror he just endured is stark and unsettling. The sounds of typical school life, the distant shouts of kids playing, the rustle of textbooks, all seem oddly muted, almost surreal after the cacophony of gunfire and explosions. He stands by a swimming pool, contemplative, clearly grappling with the trauma. The experience has undoubtedly changed him, robbed him of some innocence, and burdened him with memories no child should ever carry. It's a quiet, reflective moment that reminds us of the true cost of these violent conflicts and the lasting impact they have on the survivors. His eyes hold a depth that wasn't there before, a silent testament to the man who saved him. A child forever altered, but at least a child who survived, thanks to a very grim, very effective mercenary. Talk about a harrowing field trip. In the movie's enigmatic final scene, as Ovi Jr. dives into the pool, a blurry, out-of-focus figure appears on the other side, watching him. The figure is indistinct, a fleeting shadow, but its presence is undeniable. The camera holds on this ambiguity, letting the question hang in the air. Is it Tyler Rake, somehow having survived the fall and his seemingly fatal injuries? Or is it merely a figment of Ovi Jr.'s imagination, a haunting presence, a wishful hallucination? The sound of the water, the gentle splashes as Ovi swims, are the only clear auditory elements, the figure himself silent and mysterious. This ending leaves the audience on a cliffhanger, allowing for personal interpretation and sparking endless debate. It suggests that perhaps, in this world, even death isn't always the end, or that the bonds forged in extreme circumstances can transcend physical presence. It's a beautifully ambiguous note to conclude on, one that resonates long after the credits roll, hinting at the enduring power of hope and the slim chance of the impossible. The film doesn't give us easy answers, forcing us to ponder the meaning of sacrifice, survival, and the lingering echoes of heroic deeds. This ambiguous ending is both frustrating and brilliant, ensuring that Rake, much like the pole figure, remains in our minds. Maybe he just really likes swimming. Who knows? And that, my friends, brings us to the end of our dive into Extraction. This movie is a relentless, visceral experience, but beneath all the explosions and bone-crunching action, it's a story about the profound impact one life can have on another, even in the most dire circumstances. Tyler Rake's journey, marked by immense personal grief, culminates in an act of selfless sacrifice that secures not just a boy's physical freedom, but perhaps a piece of his own fractured soul. It reminds us that courage isn't the absence of fear, but the triumph over it, especially when protecting someone else. His story and Ovi's survival teach us that even in the darkest corners of humanity, hope can flicker and true redemption often comes at the highest cost. It's a testament to the enduring power of human connection, however brief or unexpected. Thanks for joining me on this wild ride, and remember, sometimes the greatest extractions aren't just about getting out alive, but about pulling meaning from the chaos. Today, we're plunging headfirst into a whirlwind of adrenaline and flying fists with the 2020 action thriller, Extraction. This isn't your grandma's cozy mystery. It's a no-holds-barred, one-man army spectacle featuring none other than the muscle-bound Marvel. Chris Hemsworth as Tyler Rake. Our story kicks off with Rake himself, looking like he's trying to win a staring contest with the universe as he sits by a tranquil lake in India. He takes a moment of zen, then dives off a cliff like he's just remembered he left the stove on. Before you head off, if you're enjoying the kind of content I make, please consider liking and subscribing. No pressure, but it truly helps me keep the action coming. Meanwhile, far from Rake's aquatic escapades, we meet Ovi Mahajan Jr., the son of an imprisoned Indian crime lord. Ovi's living a pretty sweet life, hanging with his friends in Mumbai, probably complaining about his parents' helicopter parenting tactics, when suddenly his playground turns into a war zone. Armed men working for a rival Bangladeshi drug lord named Amir Asif storm the area. They grab Ovi, roughly shoving him into a van, the sheer terror in his eyes a stark contrast to his earlier carefree laughter. The metallic clanging of their weapons and the panicked shouts of bystanders paint a grim picture, signaling that this isn't just a friendly game of tag. This boy is now a very valuable and very terrified pawn in a much bigger, much deadlier game. Back in prison, Sayurav, Ovi's assigned protector, tries to explain the dire situation to Mahajan Senior Sayu, a man who looks like he carries the weight of the world on his shoulders, is trying to impress upon the crime boss the urgency and danger Ovi is in. But Mahajan Sr. is a stone wall. He's not paying the ransom, effectively signing his son's death warrant to avoid showing weakness. You'd think a dad would, want his kid back? Apparently, in the world of crime lords, optics trump family. So Sayu is forced to take matters into his own hands, tasked with retrieving Ovi himself, essentially sending a sheep into a wolf pack. Though this sheep definitely has some bites, enter Nick Khan, Rake's operations manager and the brains behind the brawn. She presents Rake with Ovi's dossier, laying out the mission: extract the kid from Dhaka, Bangladesh. It's a city known for its vibrant chaos, which in this context translates to extremely dangerous for a covert operation. The job is presented with the usual dry professionalism, but the underlying tension is palpable. This isn't a walk in the park. It's a sprint through a minefield. Rake, ever the stoic, takes it all in, his gaze unfocused, but his mind clearly working through every potential worst-case scenario. The financial incentive is huge, but the personal cost could be even bigger. Rake and his team descend on Dhaka, a city that screams organized chaos from every dusty street corner. He gets a bird's eye view of the compound where Ovi is being held, like he's planning a particularly aggressive game of chess. Then, with the grace of a ninja, but with significantly more muscle mass, he rappels down, breaching the perimeter. The air is thick with humidity and the distant murmur of the city, a perfect cover for Rake's silent, deadly approach. The tension builds with every calculated step, every shadowed corner, as he makes his way closer to the target. The only sounds being the soft scrape of his boots and the distant thrum of the city. Once inside, Rake unleashes hell. It's a brutal ballet of close-quarters combat. The crack of bone, the thud of bodies hitting the floor, the grunt of exertion, every sound amplified in the confined space. He moves with a focused ferocity, a force of nature against the poorly prepared guards. It's less a fight and more a systematic dismantling of obstacles. He finally bursts into a room, finds Ovi tied up and terrified, looking like he's just had the worst day of his young life. Rake frees him, a moment of fleeting humanity amidst the carnage, but the grim reality quickly snaps back into focus. They have to get out. Their escape is anything but smooth. They hop into a jeep, and the streets of Dhaka immediately turn into a frantic obstacle course. Bullets whiz past like angry hornets, the engine roars and tires squeal in protest. Rake, a master of vehicular mayhem, navigates the chaos with chilling precision, weaving through traffic, narrowly avoiding collisions, and occasionally using a parked car as a defensive shield. Ovi, still reeling from the abduction, is a petrified passenger, wide-eyed and clutching the seat, probably wishing he'd just stayed home and played video games. The sounds of distant sirens and the constant staccato of gunfire create a relentless auditory assault, emphasizing the sheer danger they're in. Just when you think they might catch a breath. Plot twist! As they attempt to cross a bridge, Sayu, Ovi's supposed protector, ambushes them. He's not here to help. He's here to take Ovi back, an act of desperation fueled by his master's cruel refusal to pay ransom. It's a shocking betrayal, hitting Rake with the force of a concrete block. The crack of Sayu's rifle shatters the already tense atmosphere, and Rake realizes he's been played. The emotional weight of this double cross adds another layer of complexity to an already impossible mission, changing Rake's objective from simple extraction to a brutal fight for survival against multiple, often conflicting, threats. He probably muttered, "Seriously, dude?" under his breath. What follows is a brutal, visceral brawl between Rake and Sayu. These aren't dainty slaps. These are bone-jarring, jaw-rattling punches and throws, each impact echoing with a sickening thud. The bridge vibrates with their struggle, the metal screeching underfoot as they trade blows, neither willing to back down. It's a clash of titans, two highly trained individuals driven by vastly different, yet equally desperate, motives. The sensory detail here is key. You can almost feel the sweat, hear the strained breathing, and the muffled grunts as they grapple for dominance. It's a fight born of necessity, not hatred, making it all the more tragic. Meanwhile, Amir Asif, the man who ordered Ovi's kidnapping, is pulling strings like a master puppeteer. He locks down Dhaka, effectively turning the entire city into a cage. Bridges are blocked, checkpoints are established, and everyone is on high alert. The news reports flash across screens, showing the scale of his influence. It's a move designed to trap Rake and Ovi, ensuring there's no way out. The sheer power he wields over the city is terrifying, turning an urban landscape into a suffocating trap. The constant chatter of radios and the heavy rumble of military vehicles emphasize the city's transformation into a hostile fortress. Now, for the scene everyone talks about, the legendary one-shot sequence. It's a masterclass in choreographed chaos. Rake and Ovi jump into a car, and what follows is an unbroken, heart-pounding torrent of action. The camera glides with them, making you feel like you're strapped into the passenger seat, experiencing every near miss, every explosion, every flying fist. The constant roar of the engine, the rapid-fire succession of gunshots, and the shouts of pursuit are an overwhelming symphony of danger. It's a relentless, breathless ballet of destruction, showcasing Rake's unparalleled skills under pressure. You might even forget to blink for a good 10 minutes. I know I did. The one-shot continues its brutal journey. Rake, showing off some serious parkour skills, leaps from one vehicle to another, delivering bone-shattering blows with every contact. Cars smash, glass shatters with a deafening cacophony, and bodies fly. It's a dizzying display of coordinated mayhem. Then, just as quickly, the action spills onto foot. Rake, with OV in tow, navigates crowded alleys and dilapidated buildings. The rapid thud of their feet, the frantic gasps for air, and the close quarters struggles create a claustrophobic sense of urgency. The camera never breaks, making you a constant, unwilling participant in their desperate flight. The chase continues onto the rooftops, where Rake and Ovi scramble across precarious ledges, the city sprawling beneath them. The wind whistles past their ears, a momentary reprieve from the close-up violence. But it's short-lived as they're forced into an apartment building. Here, Rake faces a swarm of assailants in an incredibly tight space. The confined environment amplifies every punch, every kick, every headbutt. The muffled shouts and frantic grunts are almost drowned out by the metallic clang of objects being used as improvised weapons. It's a gritty, desperate fight for survival, demonstrating Rake's ability to adapt and dominate even in the most claustrophobic of situations. You can practically feel the dust from the crumbling plaster. After the exhilarating and exhausting one-shot, they find a moment to breathe, relatively speaking. Ovi, still shaken, expresses his guilt, believing his father's neglect led to his kidnapping. It's a raw, emotional moment that pierces through Rake's usual stoicism. In a rare display of vulnerability, Rake opens up, subtly revealing the pain of losing his own son to cancer. The quiet confession is stark against the backdrop of the city's ceaseless hum, a fragile bridge between two broken souls. It's a powerful reminder that even the toughest exteriors often hide the deepest wounds, and a tiny, almost imperceptible softening in Rake's hardened demeanor. With few options left, Rake takes Ovi to an old friend, Gasper, a former mercenary living a somewhat squalid existence in Dhaka. His apartment, while hidden, looks like it hasn't seen a dust rag since the invention of sliced bread. Gasper, played by the perpetually cool David Harbour, offers a cynical but welcoming presence. He's got the weary eyes of a man who's seen too much, but a hidden warmth in his demeanor. It's a momentary safe haven, a pause in the relentless pursuit, where the air is thick with old memories and unspoken regrets, offering a fleeting sense of security amidst the urban jungle. The faint smell of stale cigarettes probably lingered in the air. Over a meal that probably tastes better than it looks, Gasper and Rake reminisce. Their conversation a mix of camaraderie and cautious suspicion. Gasper reveals his own tragic backstory, subtly hinting at why he's stuck in Dhaka, unable to leave. He's essentially a ghost, trapped by his past mistakes. Much like Rake, the conversation highlights the blurred lines between right and wrong in their line of work. The echoes of past violence permeating the quiet room. Ovi, listening in, begins to understand the harsh realities of the world these men inhabit, a grim education in the shadows. The clinking of cutlery is the only sound breaking the heavy atmosphere. Just as trust starts to build, Gasper pulls the ultimate rug pull. He reveals he knows about the bounty on Ovi's head from Amir Asif, a bounty so massive it could buy him a whole new life. He pulls a gun on Rake, shattering the fragile piece and turning the safe house into another battlefield. The metallic click of the hammer is a chilling sound, instantly dissolving any lingering warmth. Rake, ever perceptive, had likely sensed the undercurrent of unease, but the direct confrontation is still a shock. It's a cruel twist, a reminder that in this world, loyalty is a luxury few can afford, and everyone has a price. As Gaspar's betrayal unfolds, Amir Asif's men storm the apartment building. The confined space becomes a lethal kill box. Bullets tear through plaster, wood splinters, and the air fills with the acrid smell of gunpowder. Rake, moving with instinctual precision, uses Ovi as both a shield and a motivation, his focus unwavering even amidst the chaos. The loud crack of gunfire and the whizzing of bullets are a constant threat. Gasper joins the fray, surprisingly competent, but his fate is sealed. It's a frantic, desperate fight for survival, where every wall offers momentary cover and every shadow could hide an enemy. The cacophony of the firefight is deafening, a true symphony of destruction. In the brutal exchange of fire, Rake is forced to make a grim choice. To protect Ovi, he takes down Gasper. The impact of the shot is swift and final, a silent moment of tragedy amidst the roaring gunfire. Gaspar's eyes hold a flicker of regret or perhaps acceptance as he falls. It's a grim reminder of Rake's harsh reality. Sometimes you have to kill friends to save innocence. The brief silence after Gasper hits the floor is almost more unsettling than the gunfire, a stark punctuation mark on a life lived in the shadows. This is not how you want a reunion with an old buddy to go, am I right? Just when Rake and Ovi are cornered, seemingly out of options, Sayu reappears. This time, though, he's not trying to kill them. He's here to help, a surprising shift in allegiance driven by his unwavering loyalty to Ovi. He cuts a swath through Amir Azef's men, his fighting skills matching Rake's. The sound of their combined firepower is formidable, a much-needed increase in their chances of survival. It's a temporary, uneasy alliance, born purely out of shared circumstance, but a powerful one nonetheless. The dynamic shift is palpable. As two former adversaries are now working in concert, a surprisingly effective duo. Almost like a really violent buddy cop movie, the trio, now a formidable force, battles their way through Dhaka's bustling markets and labyrinthine streets. The shouts of vendors and the cries of the crowd mingle with the sounds of gunfire and heavy impacts. Rake and Sayu move like a perfectly synchronized, highly destructive dance duo, covering each other, taking down enemies with brutal efficiency. Ovi, still a terrified civilian, is now shielded by two of the toughest men in the business. The sheer physicality of the fight is exhausting to watch, the constant thud of bodies hitting the ground, the desperate gasps for air. Every step is a struggle against the relentless tide of their pursuers. Back at headquarters, Nick Khan is the strategic mastermind, her voice calm and authoritative over the comms. She provides vital intelligence, guiding Rake and Sayu through the city's treacherous network of streets and checkpoints. Her calm instructions cut through the chaos, a lifeline for the two men on the ground. The subtle crackle of the radio transmission adds to the tension, every word a potential turning point. She's the eyes and ears, the orchestrator of their escape, reminding us that even the most formidable fighters need a good team behind them. And probably a strong cup of coffee after all this. To underscore the stakes, we cut back to Amir Azef, who's not having a great day. He's a man who runs his empire with an iron fist, and failure is not an option. He tortures one of his own men for their incompetence, a chilling display of his ruthless nature. The sound of the whip, the pained cries, and the chilling calm of Azef's voice make it clear that he's not someone you want to disappoint. This scene serves as a stark reminder of the fate that awaits Ovi if he falls back into Azef's clutches, adding another layer of urgency to Rake's mission. You definitely wouldn't want to be on his employee review list. Their only way out is a heavily guarded bridge, a bottleneck that has become a choke point in Azef's lockdown. Rake and Sayu survey the scene, the odds stacked against them like a precarious Jenga tower. They formulate a desperate plan, knowing this will be their last stand. The wind whips round them, carrying the distant sounds of the city, but here, there is only grim resolve. The quiet strategizing is tense, each look exchanged conveying a lifetime of shared experiences and an understanding of the immense sacrifice that might be required. The click of their weapons being checked is a small, sharp sound in the quiet determination. The moment of truth arrives. Rake and Sayu initiate their assault on the bridge. It's an explosion of sound and fury. Gunfire erupts, metal screeches as vehicles are disabled, and the bridge becomes a terrifying gauntlet. Rake moves with a brutal efficiency, a one-man army carving a path through the enemy. Sayu, equally formidable, covers their. After the exhilarating and exhausting one-shot, they find a moment to breathe, relatively speaking. Ovi, still shaken, expresses his guilt, believing his father's neglect led to his kidnapping. It's a raw, emotional moment that pierces through Rake's usual stoicism. In a rare display of vulnerability, Rake opens up, subtly revealing the pain of losing his own son to cancer. The quiet confession is stark against the backdrop of the city's ceaseless hum, a fragile bridge between two broken souls. It's a powerful reminder that even the toughest exteriors often hide the deepest wounds, and a tiny, almost imperceptible softening in Rake's hardened demeanor. With few options left, Rake takes Ovi to an old friend, Gasper, a former mercenary living a somewhat squalid existence in Dhaka. His apartment, while hidden, looks like it hasn't seen a dust rag since the invention of sliced bread. Gasper, played by the perpetually cool David Harbour, offers a cynical but welcoming presence. He's got the weary eyes of a man who's seen too much, but a hidden warmth in his demeanor. It's a momentary safe haven, a pause in the relentless pursuit, where the air is thick with old memories and unspoken regrets, offering a fleeting sense of security amidst the urban jungle. The faint smell of stale cigarettes probably lingered in the air. Over a meal that probably tastes better than it looks, Gasper and Rake reminisce. Their conversation a mix of camaraderie and cautious suspicion. Gasper reveals his own tragic backstory, subtly hinting at why he's stuck in Dhaka, unable to leave. He's essentially a ghost, trapped by his past mistakes. Much like Rake, the conversation highlights the blurred lines between right and wrong in their line of work. The echoes of past violence permeating the quiet room. Ovi, listening in, begins to understand the harsh realities of the world these men inhabit. A grim education in the shadows. The clinking of cutlery is the only sound breaking the heavy atmosphere. Just as trust starts to build, Gasper pulls the ultimate rug pull. He reveals he knows about the bounty on Ovi's head from Amir Asif, a bounty so massive it could buy him a whole new life. He pulls a gun on Rake, shattering the fragile piece and turning the safe house into another battlefield. The metallic click of the hammer is a chilling sound, instantly dissolving any lingering warmth. Rake, ever perceptive, had likely sensed the undercurrent of unease, but the direct confrontation is still a shock. It's a cruel twist, a reminder that in this world, loyalty is a luxury few can afford, and everyone has a price. As Gaspar's betrayal unfolds, Amir Asif's men storm the apartment building. The confined space becomes a lethal kill box. Bullets tear through plaster, wood splinters, and the air fills with the acrid smell of gunpowder. Rake, moving with instinctual precision, uses Ovi as both a shield and a motivation, his focus unwavering even amidst the chaos. The loud crack of gunfire and the whizzing of bullets are a constant threat. Gasper joins the fray, surprisingly competent, but his fate is sealed. It's a frantic, desperate fight for survival, where every wall offers momentary cover and every shadow could hide an enemy. The cacophony of the firefight is deafening, a true symphony of destruction. In the brutal exchange of fire, Rake is forced to make a grim choice. To protect Ovi, he takes down Gasper. The impact of the shot is swift and final, a silent moment of tragedy amidst the roaring gunfire. Gaspar's eyes hold a flicker of regret or perhaps acceptance as he falls. It's a grim reminder of Rake's harsh reality. Sometimes you have to kill friends to save innocence. The brief silence after Gasper hits the floor is almost more unsettling than the gunfire, a stark punctuation mark on a life lived in the shadows. This is not how you want a reunion with an old buddy to go, am I right? Just when Rake and Ovi are cornered, seemingly out of options, Sayu reappears. This time, though, he's not trying to kill them. He's here to help, a surprising shift in allegiance driven by his unwavering loyalty to Ovi. He cuts a swath through Amir Asif's men, his fighting skills matching Rake's. The sound of their combined firepower is formidable, a much-needed increase in their chances of survival. It's a temporary, uneasy alliance, born purely out of shared circumstance, but a powerful one nonetheless. The dynamic shift is palpable. As two former adversaries are now working in concert, a surprisingly effective duo. Almost like a really violent buddy cop movie, the trio, now a formidable force, battles their way through Dhaka's bustling markets and labyrinthine streets. The shouts of vendors and the cries of the crowd mingle with the sounds of gunfire and heavy impacts. Rake and Sayu move like a perfectly synchronized, highly destructive dance duo, covering each other, taking down enemies with brutal efficiency. Ovi, still a terrified civilian, is now shielded by two of the toughest men in the business. The sheer physicality of the fight is exhausting to watch. The constant thud of bodies hitting the ground, the desperate gasps for air. Every step is a struggle against the relentless tide of their pursuers. Back at headquarters, Nick Khan is the strategic mastermind, her voice calm and authoritative over the comms. She provides vital intelligence, guiding Rake and Sayu through the city's treacherous network of streets and checkpoints. Her calm instructions cut through the chaos, a lifeline for the two men on the ground. The subtle crackle of the radio transmission adds to the tension, every word a potential turning point. She's the eyes and ears, the orchestrator of their escape, reminding us that even the most formidable fighters need a good team behind them. And probably a strong cup of coffee after all this. To underscore the stakes, we cut back to Amir Asif, who's not having a great day. He's a man who runs his empire with an iron fist, and failure is not an option. He tortures one of his own men for their incompetence, a chilling display of his ruthless nature. The sound of the whip, the pained cries, and the chilling calm of Azov's voice make it clear that he's not someone you want to disappoint. This scene serves as a stark reminder of the fate that awaits Ovi if he falls back into Azov's clutches, adding another layer of urgency to Rake's mission. You definitely wouldn't want to be on his employee review list. Their only way out is a heavily guarded bridge, a bottleneck that has become a choke point in Azov's lockdown. Rake and Sayu survey the scene, the odds stacked against them like a precarious Jenga tower. They formulate a desperate plan, knowing this will be their last stand. The wind whips round them, carrying the distant sounds of the city, but here, there is only grim resolve. The quiet strategizing is tense, each look exchanged conveying a lifetime of shared experiences and an understanding of the immense sacrifice that might be required. The click of their weapons being checked is a small, sharp sound in the quiet determination. The moment of truth arrives. Rake and Sayu initiate their assault on the bridge. It's an explosion of sound and fury. Gunfire erupts, metal screeches as vehicles are disabled, and the bridge becomes a terrifying gauntlet. Rake moves with a brutal efficiency, a one-man army carving a path through the enemy. Sayu, equally formidable, covers their flanks, his movements precise and deadly. Ovi is sheltered in the background, a silent, terrified witness to the carnage unfolding round him. The metallic ping of bullets ricocheting off concrete and the heavy thud of bodies dropping create a relentless, immersive soundscape. This is where the action first really shines. Adding another layer of tactical genius, Nick Khan's sniper team, positioned in distant buildings, provides vital cover fire. The sharp crack of their sniper rifles cuts through the general din of the battle, each shot precise and devastating. They pick off key targets, thinning the enemy ranks and creating crucial openings for Rake and Sayu to advance. It's a symphony of coordinated violence, the distant thud of sniper fire adding to the already chaotic soundscape. This isn't just brute force, it's calculated, surgical warfare, proving that teamwork truly makes the dream work, especially if that dream involves a lot of explosions and gunfire. In a heart-wrenching moment of sacrifice, Sayu, having found his redemption, charges forward to create a diversion, drawing enemy fire away from Ovi and Rake. The crack of the rifle shot that takes him down echoes with tragic finality. He falls, his mission completed, his loyalty to Ovi unwavering until the very end. The thud of his body hitting the hard concrete is a heavy, mournful sound, a powerful emotional blow amidst the relentless action. It's a moment that forces Rake to push even harder, fueled by a mixture of grief and renewed determination to honor Sayu's ultimate sacrifice, wounded and bleeding. Rake becomes an unstoppable force of nature. He's a man possessed, fueled by adrenaline and the raw need to complete the mission, to honor Sayu, and perhaps to find some semblance of peace for himself. He pushes through the remaining enemies, each punch and kick delivered with desperate, visceral power. The crack of his knuckles against bone, his strained grunts of exertion, and the metallic tang of blood in the air are all he can perceive. Ovi, eyes wide with fear and awe, watches as Rake unleashes his full, devastating capability. a true embodiment of a guardian angel, albeit a very violent one, with the extraction helicopter finally in sight. Rake shoves Ovi to safety, ensuring the boy's survival. It's a moment of triumph, but it's tragically short-lived. As he prepares to make his own escape, Aziz's lieutenant, who's proven himself to be a rather persistent menace, takes a shot. The bullet finds its mark in Rake's neck. The impact is brutal, sending a wave of shock through his body. He stumbles, a look of grim acceptance washing over his face, before he tumbles over the side of the bridge, falling into the murky waters below. The splash is almost swallowed by the roaring engine of the helicopter and the sounds of distant gunfire, a poignant, almost silent farewell to our hero. Sometime later, Nick Khan, fueled by grief and a thirst for justice, tracks down Amir Aziz's lieutenant, the man responsible for Rake's apparent death. It's a cold, calculated act of retribution. No fanfare, no dramatic monologue, just swift, brutal finality. The muffled thud of the silenced gunshot is the only sound, a stark contrast to the cacophony of the bridge battle. It's a powerful moment, showcasing Nick's unwavering loyalty and her own capacity for ruthless efficiency when provoked. You don't mess with Nick Khan's team. Apparently, it comes with extreme consequences. Seriously, don't mess with her. Ovi Mahajan Jr. is safely back at his school in Mumbai. The chaos of Dhaka a distant, nightmarish memory. He's alive but undeniably changed. The innocence he once possessed has been replaced by a quiet thoughtfulness, the kind that comes from staring death in the face and seeing someone sacrifice everything for you. The sounds of children playing are a stark contrast to the gunfire and explosions he endured, highlighting the return to a semblance of normalcy. He looks out over the playground, a haunted look in his eyes, forever carrying the weight of what he witnessed, and the memory of the man who saved him. In the film's final lingering moments, Ovi stands at the edge of a swimming pool. He glances up, and in the blurry background, a figure appears. It's indistinct, a silhouette, but it bears a striking resemblance to Rake. Is it him? Is it a hallucination? A hopeful projection of Ovi's subconscious? The film leaves Rake's fate ambiguous, a tantalizing question mark hanging over the entire bloody ordeal. It's a thoughtful way to conclude, allowing the audience to ponder the true cost of heroism and whether some ghosts, even metaphorical ones, can ever truly rest. It leaves us with a sense of wonder, a quiet hope that maybe, just maybe, our hero made it back. A truly powerful ending, inviting contemplation beyond the explosions. This movie reminds us that even in the darkest corners of human conflict, sparks of connection and self-sacrifice can ignite, proving that the human spirit, even when broken, yearns for purpose. It's a testament to the idea that sometimes, the greatest acts of love are born from the most unexpected circumstances, pushing us to believe in redemption and the quiet strength found in protecting another. What a ride!